Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Political Job Interview, where I interview candidates running for election. I'm Vincenzo Calla, the host, and today I take on the role as the boss, giving a job interview to today's candidate, Jean Charest. Jean is running for election for leader of the Conservative Party of Canada. Thank you, Jean, for your time, and thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Vincenzo.
It's great to have you here, and without further ado, let's get this job interview started. So, as with any good job interview, I'm going to start off with an opportunity for the audience to learn more about Jean. So, for the first question is, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and your story?
Well, I'm originally from the Eastern Townships in Quebec with a mother of Irish origin and obviously a French Canadian father. So I was born, raised, went to school there, and it shaped very much my view of the world, living in a community where both Anglophones and Francophones live side by side, get along well, and have a pretty good life. I was elected in 1984 to the House of Commons for the first time with the Mulroney government. I'm a lawyer by training. I practice criminal law, and I was a minister in Mr. Mulroney's government. I was a deputy speaker in the House when I started my career. I also chaired the Special House of Commons Committee on the Meech Lake Accords and was Minister of the Environment, ran for the leadership of the federal party. When I was Minister of the Environment, I was there at one of the very pivotal times where there was a big conference on the environment and the economy called Rio, a 2-week conference, and that's where the Climate Change Convention was signed. And then I became leader of the party after this terrible defeat in '93. We went from government to only 2 members of parliament. I was the only one reelected. And I rebuilt the party, was part of the '95 referendum campaign. We went from 2 to 20 members in the 1997 campaign federally, and then I was drafted to run for the Liberal Party of Quebec, which was a coalition of federalists in Quebec, to push back against another referendum, and which I did successfully. And then I was elected 3 times, 2003, 07, 08 in Quebec, and did a number of things. I was premier for almost 10 years, then 10 years in the private sector with the law firm of McCarthy Tétrault. I'm running boss, as I will call you, Vincent, in this campaign because the common theme of my life, as you can see, is Canada. I care very deeply about the country. The country is very deeply divided now, and now Canadians are looking to us as conservatives to be the alternative to this Liberal government. They badly, badly want us to be that alternative. And so that's what this campaign is all about. And I'm running as someone who is not a hyphenated conservative. I believe in conservative values, which include fiscal conservatism, market-based economy, economic policies that promote economic growth, which includes natural resources, whether oil, gas, pipelines, or mining. I believe in families, plural. I believe in the respect of law and order, the rule of law as a cornerstone of the freedoms in our society. I believe in a form of federalism where you respect the jurisdiction of the provinces. So there you have it. I mean, I'm sorry to be so long, but I'm trying to sum it up for you so that you know who's sitting in front of you now.
Well, I know you have a very long resume of lots of positions in elected government, and I mean, especially viewers of this channel might be familiar with sort of the accomplishments and the general feelings of the Mulroney government. On my other show, Meet the PMs, I just did my show about where I cover all the prime ministers and cover their legacies and all that. I mentioned how the environment was a big part of that of that government, and you were a big part of that as well. You were the minister there, so something definitely that people still think about to this day about the environmental policies of Prime Minister Mulroney. So I know you already touched on this, but we're going to go into the second question, which is why have you decided to run for this position? And maybe if I'm going to add something on, why do you think now is the right time for you to run for this position, for the leader?
Well, this country needs, in terms of leadership, an adult in the room. And we've been hearing that all over the country. There's a sense that Mr. Trudeau's leadership has certainly been lacking. It's lacked maturity, it's lacked focus, it's lacked an economic agenda. And there's been a lot of virtue signaling, but really not a lot has been getting done. And we come out of this COVID period as a country in bad shape, or we've spent a lot of money, and we had to spend some, but now we need to get our house in order, and there's no direction in the country. The Conservative Party itself has been in pretty bad shape. We lost 3 consecutive election campaigns, 15, 19, and 21. And it isn't the Liberals who won. We actually lost these campaigns. We gave them away to the Liberals because we didn't have our act together. And so now, why now? Because Canadians are looking for a national alternative that is going to unite the country. And we're badly divided between East and West, between rural Canadians, urban Canadians, intergenerationally, even with new Canadians. So I can offer that experience and that leadership that will allow us to win a national government, implement a conservative agenda, and get this country on the right track.
Well, I mean, definitely these are the big conversations happening right now. I know that the Conservative Party of Canada leadership race is coming at a time where there was an election around this time last year. The election was called around this time last year, and there are big questions that are being answered now about that election. And this is the time that the Conservative Party is looking at that and examining. So we're going to take a bit of time to talk about the job and what you bring to it. So the first question is, why do you think you are the best candidate for this job?
Experience and the ability to unite the party. That's the first thing, because the first job of the leader once elected will be to unite the caucus and unite the party. And that is going to be a challenge. I have experience that allows me to do that and make it happen. I led a caucus federally. I led a caucus in a provincial government, a coalition, and I did it successfully. So that's the first thing and the first order of business for the new Conservative leader, to unite that caucus and do what needs to be done so that everyone is under the tent, and then prepare and focus the caucus, the membership, the executive of the party, the candidates on preparing for the next election campaign. I will, Vincenzo, prepare a very economically focused agenda for the country, one that will be pro-growth and focused on fiscal discipline and allow us to find our bearings as a country and move ahead. We need to redefine ourselves on the international stage. Canada has lost a lot of its prestige under the Trudeau government. We're not respected the way we were in the past. We don't have the voice we had in the past. We need to recalibrate and redefine what our position is in the world. And beyond sentiment and intentions, we have to give that very serious thought and give it a framework so that we're effective on the international stage.
Well, I mean, I'm going to build on that, because the next question is, what experience do you bring to this job? And I know you touched on that already. So maybe I can reframe this to unity is a big part of this conversation that's happening with the Conservative Party of Canada. And you have led your caucuses, you've led a government. And maybe what experience on unity do you bring to this job that will make you be the person that can unite that party?
Well, I led the party from 2 members to 20 members, and rebuilt it with a pretty broad coalition of people from all over the country. And I did that, in a government where it was a coalition government, much as British Columbia is, which means I led people who were from different walks of life and different political perspectives. I'll give you an example. I don't like hyphenated conservatives, but there are social conservatives in our caucus and in our party. It's very important that they know that they will be respected. Though we may not agree on everything, they need to know that the leader has a lot of respect for those who lead a faith-based life, who believe in their families and their communities, and that they have a place at the table. And that's where I am. And the leader has to be generous, a very generous person of himself, or aspire to be at least, and to reach out to every member of the caucus. And I can do that, and I will do that. And I'm very confident because that's what I've done in the past, Vincenzo.
Well, I mean, definitely part of running a government is running a government that sticks together and a government that supports one another. So definitely big part of running a party and running a party that does want to govern in Canada. So part of serving as an elected official is serving the people who elect you. So here are a few questions about how you want to serve the people. So what is something that the people of that you would like to serve, so the people of Canada need that you would like to get done if elected? Maybe one thing that you would like to focus on if you get elected, especially as prime minister.
Well, one issue I feel very strongly about is reestablishing our defense capabilities. I would build two military bases in the Arctic, one with a deep sea water port. I would immediately give instructions that we put our procurement process in play to buy and to build icebreakers that will be armed and submarines that can go under the ice cap. I think that'll be an immediate, within the first 100 days, Vincenzo, that is something that I would be acting upon and pushing ahead with. I think it's very urgent given the situation in Ukraine and the fact that we have Russia as a neighbor in the Arctic, that we assume our sovereignty and that we cannot count on our American neighbors to do that for us. So it's a pretty compelling situation, one that's, I think, very urgent.
Well, definitely, over these past 6 months or so since the war in Ukraine has started, lots of people have been talking about Canada's defense capabilities and defense, the needs to upgrade Canada's defense. So definitely something on the minds of many Canadians right now. And finally, we're going to go into the last question, which is, what is one accomplishment that you have achieved that demonstrates why you would be a good elected official, a good prime minister if the people choose you?
My overall record when I was premier speaks to what my values are and what I'm able to accomplish. When I left office, overall taxes were reduced $1 billion a year for taxpayers. Size of government had been reduced. And one of the things I'm very proud of is that disposable income went up for people, especially for lower income people, which is important because there's a reason why we do this, is because at the end we want to do and make decisions that will make people's lives better and make this a better country. And that's something that it was extremely important for me. In that also roundup of things I did, we reduced poverty substantially, especially for families with children. And so I'm very proud of that. Another thing I'm very proud of is what we did in recognizing qualifications. We did a special agreement with France on the recognition of what we call credentials or qualifications, very forward-looking, as we did on the Canada-Europe trade agreement. So I'm very proud of the things I did. But at the end of the day, you know what, Vincenzo? You have to do it for a reason, not just because it's numbers on a sheet of paper, but because when you leave office, you want this to be a better place and people to have better lives. And I think I accomplished that.
Well, definitely that's just a great way to end on, a great note to end on for this interview, and really thinking about how the role of every elected official, no matter the party, no matter the skill, whether it's the prime minister or a city councilor even, it's going in to help people and make their lives better and helping people out and making the lives of people that you're serving better than they were when you weren't from before you were elected. So thank you, Jean, for joining me today. It was great having you, and I'm sure the viewers have enjoyed hearing what you have to offer to them. The new Conservative leader is chosen at a convention in Ottawa on September 10th, 2022. And if you liked hearing what Jean had to say and you're a Conservative member, you have the opportunity to vote for him right now, as the ballots have been sent by mail. Ballots are due back at Deloitte in Ottawa by 5 p.m. Eastern Time on September 6th, 2022. There is already a postmarked envelope inside your mailed ballot package. Check with the Conservative Party of Canada for more details. They have lots of info at cpcleadership.ca. To stay updated, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at VC Productions 25. Check out my website, VincenzoCalla.com. Make sure to like, subscribe, and choose to get notifications here on YouTube. The Political Job Interview is a VCalla production. So until the next video, I'm Vincenzo Calla, signing out.